mother at the time, because was I like 30-some years old, so she didn't know who I was. I was sitting in the class.
Did they have they had bat mitzvahs back then?
Lynn had a confirmation. They didn't have bat mitzvahs then much. Although there were a few, but she didn't want the bat mitzvah, but she was confirmed.
And the other girls?
And the other girls didn't want the confirmation. I had a hard time with them, and they said they didn't want it. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm just not going to fight it anymore. I wanted them badly to have it. And Lynn
knew her husband since he was 9 years old.
Yeah. Lynn and Gerald were confirmed the same day. And I always remember her speech. We were not allowed to hear her speech before. And I remember these exact words, that she finished her speech by saying, in the words of my parents, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. And I'll never forget, oh, thank God it didn't go to waste. Thank God, the training. But I never forgot that. She never wanted us to hear the speech until the day of. So.
Did they go to, so did you belong to a synagogue?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we belonged
We
to.
were charter members of Yaden.
And then
Suburban.
charter members of Suburban Jewish Community Center. And we were.
They had a lot of friends, a lot of young kids there.
It was
we
all
grew up
young
with them.
people. And the
Till this
synagogue,
day.
at one time was in the firehouse. That's where we used to meet. And he was on the board, I was on the board. And I was very active, and so was he. Then he got active with the Jewish Federation of Men's Bowling League.
Yeah.
And he was active in that. He was president of 100 teams or whatever.
115 teams.
Yeah. So we were active people, you know. And the kids, we built the synagogue. When we say built, because we were the charter members. When we built the synagogue, it was right around the corner from our house, which was really wonderful. The kids could walk to synagogue, which they did sometimes, and sometimes I drove them.
They went to Hebrew school?
Yeah, they went to Hebrew school. They did go to Hebrew school. Lynn more so, Lois and Leslie did too. Yeah, they went to Hebrew school. It was not like a must then. If I were raising kids now, there would be no question.
Excuse me.
They just have to go. But
So did you get a chance to have a family travel with the girls?
no.
We used to take them up the mountains with us.
Yeah, we'd go to the mountains, but we
Lois.
never
Lynn and
traveled.
Lois.
See, he was in a business that he couldn't leave his business. And the kids never wanted to go to camp. My children never wanted to go to camp. So I used to get a place down the shore for the first 3 weeks of the year, of the summer, and then the second 3 weeks for over the pageant. We had some wonderful times. We went down the shore. Few of our friends and neighbors went with their children, and we had motel apartments right on the beach there. And we were about 5 or 6 families that used to go, and all the kids, it was their friends. So we had that was our vacation. And a few times we went to Nemerson's in the mountains. But we didn't, those days, because he had a one-man business, he had 15 people working for him because he could nobody to leave the business. So we couldn't travel too much.
How about holidays? Were they a big thing in Jewish
Yeah,
holidays?
yeah, Jewish
Was there an
holidays.
extended family you always got together with? Was it a close extended family?
Yeah, well, we got together a lot with Gerald's parents. You know Gerald, Lynn's husband. Okay. So they lived around the corner from us. And then they moved to Penn Valley. But before that, his mother, which she lives here, we're friends. We're socially friends. So they belonged to our synagogue. No, I think Minnie didn't. Minnie, no, she belonged to Adith Israel. And but we were not socially friends, but friends. And
You did the holidays?
yes, we started to do the holidays. Before that, I used to make the holidays. Norman's sister, who lived in New York, and his brother, who lived in, where did he live? Patterson, Norman.
Red Bank.
They used to come in like for Mother's Day, or they come in for Father's Day, and they'd sleep over, and they'd sleep on the floor and the sofa, wherever we had 4 bedrooms, but it was a lot of people. But we had a big patio outside, and we would have a nice party out there or inside, but we were family-oriented. His mother was very kosher, but on Christmas Day, she'd have a dinner. Why? The boys were home. You know, they didn't have to work on Christmas Day. Do you remember Mom used to make a dinner on Christmas Day, Norman? I do. She was very religious, but the only reason she did that is because the boys were home. They're not working.
Now, as a father of 3 girls, what happened? What was, as the tough father of 3 girls, what was it like when they started bringing home some guys?
That's what I didn't like.
Huh?
I didn't like it.
What a shock.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I used to chase the guys the hell out of there. I caught her husband one time. They were in the 6th grade.
No, it wasn't Jersey.
No, yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was.
it was Jersey.
When they graduated, when Lynn graduated the 6th grade, we had a party for her. We had a side patio, front patio, and she invited all her friends. And Jersey, her present husband, was invited. He was her friend too. He came over on his bicycle, and before he left, I saw him kiss her. I was sitting on the front patio. I saw him kiss her on the cheek. And I told him to keep that guy the hell out of here. I didn't want him here anymore.
He says to me, see that kid? Get him the hell out of here. I said, Norman, he's just leaving the party. He's just saying goodbye. And then on top of it, he had more support. My father-in-law came to live with me before my mother lived with me. We were that kind of family that
Took him in.
took them in. So my father-in-law, when the boys would come, and Lynn was like 14 years old, he'd say, get those dogs away from here. And his father was not European. I mean, he spoke English, but he would say, get those dogs away from here. I'd say, Pop, that's not nice. You know, Lynn's a big girl, and they come to see her. And they all called me Aunt Ann. Gerald called me Aunt Ann all the time, and Uncle Norman, and his parents, Aunt Minnie and Uncle Bernie. But his father would tell him to get out. Until finally I said, Pop, you got to stop. She cried to me one time, Mom, the boys are afraid to come. Because...
Well, you had three girls. Were they teenagers all at the same time at one point, right?
Well, Lynn's 5 years older, so when
Lynn was
got...
away at school when the kids were home yet.
Yeah, and then Lynn came back, and she finished Pepper Labs at the University.
Of Penn.
She took... medical technician. She went to Penn State, and then she came home, and she didn't finish there. She came home to go to Pepper Labs, and she was a nice, smart little girl. Always, but I never had no trouble. You know, I never had, like, you know, a lot of mothers, they had trouble with their kids.
No, we never had any.
No, I never had that. As a matter of fact.
Was she the social butterfly of the 3?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. She had 4 boys going at one time.
And what about Lois?
Freddie, Harry, Jersey. What was the other one?
I don't know.
Oh,
Lois didn't have that many boyfriends.
they would come in, stay a while, leave. The next one would come in and go, oh, my God.
In fact, Lois would visit a friend and try to stay overnight in the middle of the night. We get a call, Mommy, I want to come home.
Yeah,
That
Lois
She
was the
didn't wanna
homebody.
Yeah.
Even when she went to my mother's, my mother would call. She'd say, you better come and get Lois. She wants to come home. Till today, she's the same way.
stay. And Leslie was afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely fearless.
Leslie, I looked over we went to a swimming pool one day, and I looked, she was about 4 years old.
No.
Yes. You think a little older?
Yeah,
About 5 then?
about 12.
No.
Yeah,
God.
well, tell 'em what
I
she
looked
did.
up at the diving board.
The
and
high
there
diving board. She was jumping off.
Never afraid of anything. Never. I don't know if she's changed now. But they
She's
were.
still not afraid of a damn thing.
No. But they were. I really don't. Maybe
They
I
grew up
did. You know, maybe I
real
just
well.
remember the good times.
No, that's fine. What about the guys they married? Can we talk about them for a minute?
Well, I love
We
and
have a little
adore
problem
Gerald.
there.
He is really one
Yeah,
of
he's
my
like a
loves.
son.
Yeah, he's like one of my loves, you know. I just adore him. Even if he'd spit in my face, I probably love
No,
him,
I
you
wouldn't like
know.
that.
But it's true. I mean, anything he does is right. Howard, the same way. He's a nice guy. I can't.
He's very quiet. He's a doctor,
Yeah,
a neurologist.
that's Lois's husband, and he's a very nice guy. He's very polite
He's
to
good to
us.
Lois,
He's
and
very
that's all
nice.
that counts.
He's a wonderful husband and wonderful father, and I was very close with his parents too. We went out socially, and he's a nice guy. He really is a good guy. Leslie's husband was a nice guy. At first, he was always nice to us, but they got divorced. So he hurt my daughter, and if he hurts my daughter, he hurts me. So I have no use for him. But he never was mean to us. We talk about it. He always used to say, invite your parents, invite your parents. So their spouses and their children,
And the grandchildren.
I have been so gifted. I've been so lucky. I mean, Lynn had 3 children, and we've been lucky. All our children are around us. I have 1 granddaughter that lives in New York. That's it. But when Lynn had each child, I was always there. We were always, because at the time she wasn't busy being a business lady. And they were just fabulous children.
When Lynn, we sent him to dancing school for years,
Yeah.
the 3 of them. And when Lynn, I guess, was about 30 years old, she called me one day at work, at my place. And she said to me, Daddy, I got to ask you something. I said, honey, what do you want? She said, Daddy, we never finished our dancing lessons. Now, remember, she's married, and they were doing well. Her husband, they were doing very successful in business. Lynn was in business too already. She said, we never finished our dancing lessons, the 3 of us. Would you send us to dancing school back to finish our lessons and pay for them? So I said, if that's what you want, well, I'm stuck. Well, if that's what you want, I'll send you. She said, thanks, Daddy. When she hung up, I called the dancing teacher because I knew her well from when they were going to her school. And I said to the dancing teacher that when Lynn, my daughter Lynn, calls you and asks you for lessons, make sure I get the bill and I'm sending them back. But I'm going to tell you something you have to do. And she says, what's that, Mr. Finkelstein? I said, if they miss one day or one night coming to, you tell me, because I have an idea they're doing this to get out of the house. She said, I will. And then we came to their,
That's their picture over there.
oh, Sam, that's the age they were when I gave them
Can
their.
you see the 3 of them in their ballet costumes?
Yeah. And we
They
went
were-
to their,
They're 30s. Can you see them at all?
they're next to that group, family group picture.
That's hard to say.
Want us to remove it? Wait, I'll get it.
No.
Let them go, hon. And they went. We went to their recital, and it was funny as hell. Funny.
The 3 of them doing
we
the
had
ballet?
we had a fun life with them. That we
Yeah, as I said, I'm sure we had some bad times,
did. Yeah.
but I don't remember them.
Our bad times is when Leslie got divorced. That was
Yeah,
very difficult,
that was
all
difficult.
around.
We had fun. I joined Gamma Swimming Pool. I took them every morning for swimming lessons. They had a dining room there. We had breakfast there every morning. Daddy worked. And we were at the pool all the time. And then when we started to go down the shore, we loved that. And I remember God running for us to get front seats for the pageant. And they loved that. And the next day we would come home.
Did you tell them what we
Start
did with
school.
the kids on our 50th anniversary?
Yeah, I told them that's where that picture comes from.
Yeah.
We have they were wonderful. You know what they did the first day on the beach?
Explain again what you did since it wasn't on camera.
Oh, the day that they came, the first day on the beach, the 6 of them walked down.
That's our son-in-law's
To-
also.
50th anniversary in a room.
It was our 50th anniversary, and the kids wanted to make us a big dinner dance.
And Lynn and Lois were in Arrangements Unlimited at the time.
And I just did, neither one of us wanted that. And then one day, both of us decided that we would take them to Aruba for a week.
We gave them,
All
for
expenses
our runners,
paid.
we bought them the plane tickets, and we got them.
Let it ring, Norman. Just a minute. Norman.
You told him.
Norman.
You tell him.
Norman, you can't.
Ready? Okay, we gave them, as our gift to them for our 50th anniversary, we gave them a trip for a week to Aruba. We flew them down, we got them 3 suites, we paid for the entire vacation just to have them with us. Our 3 daughters and their husbands. You can take over.